Hey guys. So I'm back. I wanted to talk about something that I hope everybody knows. I mean, I will say when somebody so this is actually something I'm not going to trigger anybody. I'm not going to name people specifically. But it is very common, or really when you have somebody in your life, whether it's a family member, a friend, or somebody you deeply respect and you don't want to leave your life, communication is always key. I would say communication a lot of times can prevent fighting from happening. But fighting can be a form of communication when somebody either feels cornered or somebody feels like they have to lash out if somebody's not listening, or in multiple cases. For me, it's when my mom, or really when people in my life, somebody in my life, that has suffered a great deal of challenges with cancer, and following with that, a stroke, a pretty nasty stroke. Now, strokes can affect many people different ways. Your body can become paralyzed, or like what my mother had to ordeal was losing part of her speech, meaning that the communication she once had, she says she may never get it back, but those are her own thoughts. But it was the same thing when my grandmother, before, she had gone, the best thing you can do to somebody that might lack in speech is, for me, the tools were, if you were out in public with this person, um would definitely be a napkin and a pen, because those are the tools right there that you can, because it's really like sending a non, because I will say my mom has a hard time reading text messages, and I will say a way with her, if she's in the room with you, or she's having coffee, or anybody is socializing with her, or with an elderly person, it's good to have a napkin and a pen with you, like a spare pen in your purse. Because people that have a stroke, or can't, obviously, having a hard time speaking, it's not so much a bad thing, because things r- lead to that. A stroke definitely is one of those things that can lead up to unfortunate increases in speech. If you want to talk fast to somebody that may have, is having a stroke, or really at the after effects, because the thing is, strokes are really bad. And my mom, suffered a really bad one, but really, it's a lot of it is the after effects too. Like, it's the outcome you really have to focus about, because anybody can have more than one stroke, you know in the same year, maybe different year, the next year, the year, but because you don't know when you could get another one. But I encourage anybody that, my mom also, she's my mom, so she has definitely that urge of making sure, that I'm supported and things like that. But when she thinks, somebody, might, I would say, out to get me, but if she doesn't like how people treat me, she's going to go with a defensive, I guess, way of expressing how she feels, even though she can't word it correctly. It still, doesn't give anybody the right to mock her for that bullshit or anything, or because that would be me. Really, it'd be like me, you know, seeing I literally like talking to one of my friends' moms, and talking, but my mom, I will say, with along with what she's dealing with, she doesn't like conflicts with people. She wants to remain happy, but it's hard when you go through that to find happiness. And I will say, I encourage anybody that has trauma based or has had a trauma based background is to fight with it and find ways of communicating. If trauma being, abuse or medical things going on, or really something that changed your life. Yes, people say she's doing better. I think she improves every day. But it's really for her when people talk too fast. She has a hard time to process that. And a good way for me to know this about my mom, because my grandmother, when she got sick, when she got, the thing is, she didn't really have a hard time reading, but if she forgot something, then the meant so it really helps with elderly people developing dementia too. They forget things, so you have to write them down. But I still want to be with the people that I love today, other than my parents, because anybody, my age, or if I was older, deserves to have other people that, that, I can support and that they can support and make me feel, I guess, accepted is a word to use, or really to feel where I belong. You have a right to have friends. You have a right to consider friends of yours as your own siblings, especially if they're non-blood. If they're not blood, my arms are open to pretty much anybody. For me, I've never shown any signs of being hateful towards others, wanting to harm others due to my own thoughts, my own feelings. However, yes, when I do push people, people become more defensive. Meaning that, they state it as being cornered. It's the same thing in the animal kingdom. If you corner an animal, you know, and you keep cornering that animal is going to lash out in fear, cuz I mean, you want to bring yourself close, but that animal is like, you better back the hell off. I need, for me, it's like bringing a pet home. Like if you get a warning, if you get a growl from a dog or a hiss from a cat, the thing is, it's a new environment for them. So will they lash out? Maybe. If you try to coax them out, yes, they're going to feel cornered. But it's the same thing with people too. People are going to feel cornered to the phase. Will they, like animals, they will defend themselves if they feel cornered. But the real ordeal thing for me is, do I want to keep those around me? Yes, I do, 100%. Do I want people that love me to leave? No. And right now it's extremely difficult, especially when you have a parent that, has a hard time with speech. Is it a challenge? Not, I mean, I wouldn't say that person is a challenge. I would say what they're going through is a challenge. But if I had to have anybody sit down with my mom, or at least maybe go out for coffee, there's one person in particular I would choose, but I will not be naming names on this YouTube video. What I am going to say is there should always be communication before any really, communication, I feel like, is more healthy than having a feud. And feuds can happen with family or people you want to consider your family. But at least in my life, I want things balanced, and I want those to know that you can't hate on those who might express themselves differently, or, I guess, have a hard time with speech. Do not classify or judge those people any differently that they could possibly judge you. But I'm working with my mom right now to actually make peace with people, at least, with what she has going on. The thing is, when you have somebody, two people in your life, the thing is, it's not just one person that might feel cornered. It could be multiple people. That was part of the reason, really, I would help my mom with her homework. I worried so much about her wanting, I wanted her to get her speech back right away. And that was something I didn't consider within myself, was the time. That it was going to take time. It was going to take an extreme amount, because she had to do this homework. I did a lot for her because I wanted her to get better. Even though I was not supposed to do the homework for her, I did it because I wanted her to push through everything. I mean, you're allowed to ignore somebody if they're not listening to you. But I've always encouraged my mom, with however she's feeling towards somebody, you still want to make peace with that person, no matter of what they state or how you feel amongst a person. You need to make peace with them. And I've learned that myself, is if it's somebody that you feel makes you feel uncomfortable. I've noticed my mom, I mean, nobody's weak. You can show weakness, but weakness is more of more of like a body thing, a body function. You're showing weakness. But are you, I mean, the thing is, if somebody calls you mentally weak, that is very wrong, because strength, what people don't realize about strength and weakness, is that a lot of it is not an emotion. It's not emotion based. It's not an emotion at all. There's going to be things you may not want to do. There might things that might bring you down, but rise above the occasion. Help those who need to be helped. Cherish those who may be sinking within your life, or who might invite you to things, or you never ever want to start a fight or a war with people. And I've told my mom, you know, and I've told friends, I'm not here to start a war. I'm here to make peace. With whatever I have left, or really whatever I have to give or offer to somebody, it will happen, and it will happen fast. But people say that I have not helped my mom out, or ask if I'm helping my mom out. The answer is yeah. The thing is, you the fact of how close you can be with someone, it's often, It's often like if you were extremely close with somebody, like a parent, you were close to them, they were close to you. So that's not so much a question. That's more that's an action. Somebody you really clearly are close to, it's an action. They do go out and help you out, and and the bond, it's the bond that you have with that person. It's it's not so much, it's the bond, but it's really, there's going to come a time in your life where the person you formed a bond with, a parent, they're getting older, and you're still, and I mean, I mean, everybody goes through the same thing. You get older, you maintain good ground, but I don't want anybody to ever start a war with somebody, from or any kind of violent event. Even though it happens, peace is the answer to disagreeing, to arguing, to might have a different opinion, or really, but sometimes it's the people you're close to that might give out those, not so much opinions, but just like, you make sure that person, gives that person they are uncomfortable with, make sure they have peace. Not hatred, not disrespect, peace. But I tell my mom every day, you might not like what somebody tells you. You do not you're not against those people. You need to make peace. And I know for a lot of people it is hard. It's difficult, especially if somebody does something you may not like. You feel like you have to lash out. You will always make peace. It's instinctual, it's a reaction, and it's a reality. And it's also a primal response. And a lot of that is associated as well in the animal kingdom. No more fighting, no more wars, fucking peace. Peace is the pleasure. And if you can catch that peace before the fire, then you will live and you will become a legend. You catch that peace before you feel like there could be a major thing going out. You catch it when you want to, it's hard, you want to lash out on somebody who's not listening. War, and you feel cornered. You don't know, I mean, But the thing is, when somebody does put, they have to immediately retract. Because it's not just the person that is cornered or feeling cornered or the animal that's being cornered. It's you that has to walk away before that person feels you're better off to not engage in hurtful behavior, but to catch that peace and keep that peace among yourself and those who you love. But catch it before it happens. But thank you guys. I will do the stop motion video, but I'm gonna go get dessert. Don't worry, it will happen tonight. I guarantee it. Thor want Thor, what do you want, bud? Hey, buddy. I wonder if he's gotta go out again. Did he eat something to make him fucking give him diarrhea or shits? He may have to go out again, buddy. All right.